as some of you may know, I am a mod developer, and for the past, I don't know, a couple of years, I've had some JoJo mods out, and some of you might have played them, JoJo, Hamonera, and World of Stands, but as some of you may have noticed recently in the past few months, those mod pages have said that those mods are discontinued, and that is because today we're going to be checking out my new mod that is just released called JoJo Winds of Requiem. So, this mod has not too much content. I wanted to get a release out early to you guys, otherwise I'd be working like the entire year on this mod. So first we're going to go in to our items. As you see, we have not too many items. And yeah, to get started in this mod, obviously you're going to want to get a stand. And to get a stand, you're going to need to find meteorite ore, which drops raw meteorite and can be smelted into a meteorite ingot. You are going to need a diamond pickaxe to break this, so if we get a diamond pickaxe, you will have to break it with a diamond pickaxe, otherwise it won't drop. And if you pick up the ore, you will be you'll be poisoned, and you'll be sick. And yeah, you'll have to cook it. It'll take a little bit longer than normal ores, but with that, a stick and a feather, you can get the stand arrow. As you all know, if you right click, boom, and then you get a stand. So in the mod, we currently have 2 stands, Star Platinum and the World. And as you see down here, we have some work in progress stands. We won't talk about those right now. But yeah, we have those 2 stands, and you'll be able to summon it with H. Now it's also worth mentioning that there's not only just a stand system, there's normal player stat systems. So if you hit G by default, you will open up this menu. You will have, at the start, 4 stats you can upgrade, which do as they say, and they'll tell you what they do. But the most important part are these 5 skills, which you can unlock. So if we slot all these skills, you will have them all unlocked. And as you can see, they're going to do some things, but we're not going to look at that right now. Now, if we get some very valuable test dummies here, we can look at the skills. The first skill is a heavy attack, which just does a little bit of knockback and some extra damage. You know, actually, let me pull down 0 so we can show this off better. Well, they hit them, and then you'll get knocked back a little bit, and you'll be fine. Do a little like punch, very quick punch, and get out of here. Go. I don't do much damage because I don't have my stats up. But if you hover over the moves, you can actually see how much damage they do. See, I do 6 damage here. So if we do War Player Stat Map, live. Now, if we look at it, we should be doing a little bit more damage, and our cooldown should be way shorter. Not that we have them on right now. But I should be able to hurt the guy a little bit more. And then next, we have a very simple barrage move. It's a barrage. It does not too much damage with max level, only 2. But it's useful, you can barrage. If you are fighting another person, your barrages will actually clash and stuff. And you can barrage away projectiles and things like that. The next 2 abilities, we have an uppercut, and then with the uppercut, you can also slam down. So, boom, boom. Well, he died there, but you see, you can uppercut, slam, or you can uppercut, punch them away. Just a really basic kind of combo system. And then we have our dash. So if you're on ground, your dash will be a little bit more simple, but if you jump, it's more like a leap, so you can get some airtime. You got some blocks here, you need to get up, boom. I could go up even higher. There's 6 blocks, boom. That's about the max. You jump up on top of like trees, But here is where the cool part comes in. These 5 moves will change when you acquire a stand. So if I summon Star Platinum, you'll see Star Platinum will use the moves instead of me. And as some of you may have saw earlier, and by this little indicator down in the corner, if I hit Y, and by default this is on, your stands will half summon. So you don't have to even have your stand summoned at all. You just use the move, and the arms appear right behind you. And they do the full stand damage, which currently is less. So let's stand stat max. And now you'll see that goes from 6 to 12 just from having my stand. So now we should be able to just destroy zombies, you know, 2 hits. So, you know, they'll use all the moves. While half summoned, you can do everything. And also, it's good to mention that stand users can see stands, but non-stand users can't. So, you'll see if I summon Jotaro, here, he has Star Platinum, but if I go for stand, set, no live, none, you'll see I actually can't see Star Platinum at all. It doesn't even show up on the hitbox. Same, sorry, Dio. Ignore that. But you see, yeah, I can't see Star Platinum at all. So now if I grab the disc, put Star Platinum in, he reappears. We'll get rid of Jotaro too. Yeah, and then the same thing, your moves work the same with or without summon, just these 5. So you can still use them with your stand summon too, and they'll work. But if you want to just be weaker and not use your stand constantly, you can turn off half summoning. But it's a nice alternative, so you don't need to instantly summon your stand if you're in a battle. You can just half summon and you're good. But that gets the basics out of the way, because currently this mod doesn't have anything like Hamon. So you just have your basic stats, which will actually increase. You have 2 bars of health and stuff at max. But the important stuff for the mod right now is the stand stats. So if you look at the top and you go to the stand menu, you'll see I have all 5 stand stats, and they will all do different things. So let's max out our stand again. We go here. We have 3 tabs at the bottom. So first, we're gonna just take a quick peek at the stand skins. I plan to add more skins later on. Right now, we just have part 4. You can even click on it and look at the skin before you equip it. But if I resummon, I should have part 4, the world, Star Platinum, the world, and I have a little golden aura, just like JoJo. But what you guys want to see is the stand skills. Now, both Star Platinum and the world have 7 skills. That's not including, you know, their extra stuff, because, you know, barrage and stuff all works with stands. So, the first move is Star Finger. Let's slot Star Finger. Now, Star Finger, all the stand moves require you to have your stand fully summoned, so only these 5 can be half summoned. Otherwise, you get a full summon like this. Now, Star Finger, obviously, he Star Fingers, and his finger gets really long. Let's see, if we dash over here and see, we have a. If I hit the attack, hello? Let me Start Finger the sheep. Okay, I don't know why it's being bad. Yeah, maybe I'm just aiming it wrong. I think I know what it is. I'll fix that later. I don't even know. Something was happening there. I think it was hitting the ground before it could hit the sheep. Yeah, see, look, there we go. That worked. Okay. But Starfinger, besides being a ranged attack, can also interact with redstone. Now, this is very niche, but it can have some purposes. So if we grab like a lever, we'll see in this square, Starfinger actually can interact with all 9 of these levers. Now, if I put some like up here, it's not gonna hit those. It's just a 3x3. But as one of my testers actually said, you could build like a hidden base. So you could have like a lever, you know, hidden back behind a wall. And if you have Starfinger, oh, I hit it. You hear the lever went off. So you could build something, you know, pretty useful with that. It's a very niche utility, but I think it's pretty cool. Next, we're going to move on to Inhale. Inhale does about as you'd expect. You can inhale mobs and drag them towards you. He's trying to walk away, so he's very slow at being dragged away. Stop it! But, you know, we can drag the mobs around. You know, you could use this instead of like a lead or something. It doesn't deal damage. But the utility, if you may be sensing a pattern here, is very unique for Inhale. So since you're since you're inhaling the air, you know, you're taking all the heat out of the air, you're inhaling, I decided to make Inhale do 2 things. It puts out fire. Oh, I gotta actually select the move. It puts out fire, and it turns lava into magma. So if you're in the nether or something, you can this can be very useful. You can travel around with Star Platinum, cooling down all the lava into magma and putting out fires. So very, very useful, very again, very pretty niche utility. And we're gonna move on to an even better utility, which is the eye zoom ability. This is how Star Platinum can zoom in and see details really nicely. So if we go away over here, we can zoom in and you'll see valuable blocks like chests will glow. It works on multiple blocks. So if I have like, you know, diamond blocks over here, or like a, I don't know, like a beacon or something, you know, anything that's decently valuable, you'll see will be marked with this little sparkle effect. But the best use of eye zoom is if you're looking around, you can see entities, which works, you know, through walls and stuff. So your perception is just so good, you can just like sense that there's something over there. Like, oh, I think there's, you know, maybe Star Platinum seeing the sheep over there. So it highlights entities for you to see with this nice purple glow, because, you know, Star Platinum. It's got a pretty long range. I guess not long enough to see those forces. Let's see, there we go. Let's see. It's pretty long, I mean, yeah, right about here. I think it's about 100 blocks out. You can highlight entities. And I think this one is probably the most useful of the Star Platinum utilities. Because, you know, you can like see people. I think it works on invisible people too. You like sense them. I don't know. You see the minor refractions in the light or something. Now, some of you may have been seeing the pattern here. Star Platinum is very utility focused. I wanted to add a lot of utilities, and also it helps distinguish it from the world, which we'll get to in a bit. I'm gonna move on to some of the higher abilities, some of the stuff you guys probably want to see, and that is Time Stop. Now, these last three at the bottom are passive abilities. You see how these say active, means you have to slot and use them. But these ones are passive, so we'll unlock all these here too. Actually, you know, let's look at the passives first. So, these two require you to have Time Stop first, but this one turns your dash, you know, this dash right here, turns it into a time skip. So you can teleport around and stuff. Very, very nice, very good. And then if you jump and stuff, you still stand jump. So you get the teleport and stand jump. This ability is Time Counter, which reminds me, I didn't actually mention this system. This system is in my old mod too. If you hold, I think it's tab by default, you will block. See how he's blocking. If you shift, you'll guard. But for a split second, you may have seen that guard was a gold. It went from a diamond shield to a gold shield. So that split second is a parry. And now with Time Stop Counter, if you do that, you'll teleport behind them and reflect all their damage back. Which parry does too, but Time Stop Counter does a lot more damage back than a parry would be. So if we look at that again, it's gonna attack, and then I teleport behind him. And you can combo into like a barrage or something like that. You know, very, very cool, very fun. And then the next passive, or the final passive, is probably my favorite passive. It is called Enhanced Reflexes. Now, you can think of this kind of like Infinity. Let's see, time set midnight. This will stop any projectiles from reaching you. So if these skeletons shoot at me, it has a small cooldown, but you see Star Platinum will, you guys are fighting, Star Platinum will deflect the arrows back away from me so that I don't get hit. But with the skeletons, this might actually be a good time for us to show off Star Platinum, the world. So now everything's frozen. We can come over here, barrage him, and he he dies. And then since we have no cooldowns, we'll come over here. But look, yeah, he'll deflect the projectile. Maybe next one shoots at me. Time stopped. Arrows in the air. Run over. Stand barrage. And he's dead. Now, Time Stop is really cool. I really like Time Stop. And it does a couple of neat stuff. Things like furnaces and hoppers and all that will be frozen in Time Stop. Arrows, projectiles, explosions, everything will be frozen in Time Stop. So if we grab something like a end crystal, for example, put that in the ground, and you Time Stop, you can explode it. And you see, this won't do anything until time resumes. it does, and then it does the explosion. And this also works with things like creepers. So if creeper, if you're chilling, you hear a creeper beside you, time stop, boom, barrage the creeper, walk away, and he's dead. So all damage applies after time stop too. Very, very cool. I'm really proud of how this turned out, especially with the gray shader effect and stuff too. Now lots of hours of testing went into that, but now we're gonna set time to day, and that's basically all for Star Platinum. It shows all the stats and stuff too. If you guys want to actually check that out in game, you can read all that and see how your stand evolves. But now we're gonna take out Star Platinum. We are gonna look at the world. So now we have the world with a nice golden aura, and the world, unlike Star Platinum, is very attack focused. You saw Star Platinum was very utility. He had stuff like zoom and that, and we actually have a skin too. Nice purple the world. But you saw Star Platinum was very utility, and to counter that and make them a little bit different, the world is very combat focused. So it shares time stop and these three passives, but it has a new passive called Impaling Punch, which changes how your heavy attack works. It makes it do more damage, and you'll see he bleeds out. So that wasn't a weak husk, he would start bleeding out for about 5 seconds. And you can see with heavy attack, this has turned to 16 instead of 12, which it was previously. And then for the new moves, he has one move called Sweeping Kick, where he will turn around and, oh, I didn't have it selected, he'll sweep around. Now if we have some husks around, like this, and I use Sweeping Kick, it swings them around in like a circle. So if you're fighting, maybe not a husk, but if you're fighting like maybe a player or something, that could be very like disorienting. Let's see, let's fight something like a Iron Golem. Alright. There's this combo I really think is fun to use. So you can uppercut into a sweeping cut and swing him around in the air. Boom. So if you're fighting a player, you can see how this would be very like annoying to fight. You might, oh, time stop. I didn't mean a time stop, but you guys already saw the time stop. For the world, it's 10 seconds long, so this is a very long time stop in the Iron Golem stat. I think Sweeping Kick is very fun. You sweep and they spin around. And then the other move, when you unlock it, you'll see this bar here. Now this bar is kind of like a damage meter, a little rage meter. So when you take damage, for this, let's actually let's go over here. We're gonna equip Dio's armor, which we should have done with Star Platinum too, but we'll equip Dio's armor. We'll even go back to the base of the world, so I'm Dio now. If we get like some husks, I already have husks, but we go on survival, they'll start hitting me. And you'll see the bar at the bottom. I'm actually a little bit injured. You'll see at the bottom the bar is starting to gradually fill up, and so they're hurting me. I'm getting angry. Once the bar fills up like this, you'll be able to use it. Now we're gonna take a second to stop and look at our stats. We'll look at everything here, our damage, 16, all that. When you use it, you're gonna become powered up, you're gonna have regen, and your stats are going to get boosted. So some moves, it may not be as noticeable as others, but your damage is gonna get higher, your durations are gonna get higher, your cooldowns are gonna get lower. It's basically a plus 20 stat increase to all your stats. So you'll be, hurting more while you have this active, and the duration is based on, your stats. At max, it's like 20 seconds. So you'll be healing faster, you'll be doing more damage, you'll be using moves faster, and you'll just be, you'll be like a little attacking machine. You'll be like a little destruction machine. But for the most part, that basically rounds off how the stand moves work. I don't think I mentioned the enhanced reflex passive also will work without your stand summon. So you'll see the half summon will turn on and also deflect So this is nice if you were like AFK in a server or something, you know. You can just sit here and they won't get to you. You know, it's very useful. It's very nice to have, and it makes some things like really easy. You know, nighttime skeletons aren't an issue anymore. Creepers aren't an issue. Just time stop. Overall, it's a really nice passive. Now we're gonna look at some of the miscellaneous stuff now. Speaking of, we should try on Jotaro's armor because we didn't actually wear it before. So, you know, you get the cool little coat and the chain and the hat, and it blends in with your hair at the back too. Next is the ancient blade, which we have. He can be found in desert temples. It's just kind of Anubis, but without the powers. And you see it does quite a bit of damage. So this is a very good weapon alternative. And for stand discs, if you want to craft them, it's just an arrow surrounded by iron. Very simple to make. Let's see, disc, stand, arrow, and iron. If you want to make a disc, it's very simple. You know, just do that and then stand disc. They're reusable, so you can just have one and keep using it on your stand. You can also, if you don't want to stand anymore, you can wipe it clean. And there you go. So for the most part, that's the mod in its current state. It's a very early release because I wanted you guys to be able to play with the mod and give feedback and stuff and suggestions. But besides that, we're going to actually take a peek at 2 of the work in progress stands, which don't have any moves right now, but they're in the game. So you can see we're going to have a gold experience, which has its own summon sound, and all these moves work with it. You know, you can barrage, you can uppercut and slam, attack, all that. But you'll see, you know, he isn't properly set up yet, so there's not much going on there. But he looks cool. You guys will see him as the mod icon. Since I named it Wizard Requiem, I wanted gold experience to be on there. And then same with King Crimson. It's got that little growl, plus the red aura. And yeah, the same thing. You can barrage, attack, uppercut, all that. It works, and it looks really cool when you do the half arms like that one scene. Yeah, slam. And besides that, you know, this is work in progress stuff. I have on the Trello. There's about like 5 Stardust Crusader stands, which will be slowly added, plus Hamon and Vampirism later. Yeah, we have lots of plans. This is a very early release, so you know, if you guys want to suggest stuff, join my Discord server, and I'll be happy to look at all your suggestions and feedback and stuff. And I will make updates. I'll make updates. Besides that, there's one little thing I'll add. There's the settings menu, which if you guys want to check it out, you can disable stuff like the glowing cooldown. You can show your cooldowns. So when you use a move, you can see the cooldowns in the corner. Just and you can also change to have different modes. So you know, I could hit this, and now I have this where I select the ability I want. Which some people said they liked it from the old mod, so I kept it in. And also, if you're just used to using it like this, where you hit the key and it goes through them all, makes that cool little sound for you. Yeah, there's that. It's just some you know, config stuff for your personal self. But yeah, that about sums up the mod. And then another thing with the stand arrows, actually, there's multiple ways to find them. So don't just rely on finding the structure. The ore can spawn underground really rarely. You can find it from fishing. Sniffers can dig it up. You can get it from killing bosses like the Wither or the Ender Dragon, or even the Warden. And yeah, there's a bunch of ways. So don't worry about not finding an arrow. You'll find an arrow, trust. But yeah, that about does it for the mod. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate if you stuck to the end. You know, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, and I will see you guys next time.